Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. As always, your host Papatello bringing you coverage, news, and all that good stuff from above. So I hope everyone's having a blessed day at the cathedral. Everyone's having some ribs, maybe some corn on the cob, maybe some corn souffle and some cornbread. There's a lot of corn going on. Settle down, not that type of video. I said corn, sir. I said corn, alright? I said what I said. You better get up or you will get shot in Minecraft. YouTube, family friendly. You know the deal. However, though, we got a World of Warcraft video to talk about today, and it is The War Within, and we're going to talk about, my personal experience with the game so far. As you can see, taking a heavy breath out because, I'm not going to lie to you, your boy's been hell of exhausted when it comes to The War Within key pushing as of lately with these mythic keystones. I definitely have some shit to say, and I'm going to voice my opinion, and just, take it as you is, take it as you want. It is just opinions at the end of the day. Don't take it serious and, get butthurt because you feel indifferent the way I do. This is just the way I fucking feel. So, if you want to ride with it, ride with it. However, though, we're going to go into the video now. I can't even breathe no more. I can't even breath. Get to the correct website, Tello. However, Maxroll GG. I love this website. I've been using it since Diablo in the early days, so we're going to use this for an example of what they're putting in their tier list for what they think the best dungeons are for keystone pushing. Now, they put Necrotic Wake and Mist of Tyr Scythe in S tier. I see also down in C tier, they put Dawnbreaker down there, which I find kind of fascinating because I genuinely think Dawnbreaker is an A or S tier dungeon. I also think Mist of Tyr Scythe is a good dungeon if you have the weak aura and you know about the puzzles and how to solve them, because everything else in there before that and after that is easy, besides those puzzles and the guessing game. So I would put Mr. Tyr Scythe at A tier. Now, I see their list, and I see what they're basically saying, and I have to agree with the most part of their list, besides Siege of Oralis, and I'm going to make my own list right now. We're good. Sorry about that. I thought we were packed up, chat. However, let's actually lock in. Anywho, so, when it comes to Dawnbreaker, I genuinely think it's an A tier dungeon. I think Dawnbreaker is very fun, and I think it is not that bad. You just have to really follow the tank and make sure that you land in the correct points of the map, and don't, fall. Obviously, don't fall off the boat, because people have done that in my runs. And just simply kick, pop your defensives, know when to, heal yourself, and it's a lot of cleave fighting. And the last boss is a joke. Like, nothing about Dawnbreaker, in my opinion, is actually hard. Besides just throwing the bombs on the one boss at the last boss at the end when he's on the boat, and moving the tidal wave, right? And just paying attention to the mechanics on the floor. I don't think Dawnbreaker's that bad. Even the boss with the triple beam thing that happens, I genuinely think Dawnbreaker is a dog shit, like, dungeon. It's like dog shit easy. Not that it's a bad dungeon, but I meant to say like dog shit easy, so to say. Like, it's good, but it's just not that hard. And I think it's A tier, in my opinion. So I don't know why they have it so low. I personally think it's one of the better ones to do. And what, good comp, straight up, it's straightforward. So I don't have no problems with it. Necrotic Wake, S tier. I think Necrotic Wake is S tier because it is one of the most well-designed dungeons of going from point A to point B out of all of them. It's literally just you enter the dungeon, follow a path, go around, go up, continue going up, and you're done with the dungeon. The only boss in Necrotic Wake that is kind of annoying is the boss with the meat hook, because either the meat hook will bug, the meat hook will hit one of your party members, and it'll completely ruin everything, and then you have to wipe because 2 abominations spawn. And then also for the third part, if you have the ad too far away, the meat hook won't reach out all the way to the dude on stage to bring him down. So you have to really position it correctly. But besides that, Necrotic Wake is not too bad. I think some of the ads in there do smack. The cleave ads, especially, with the ones that can do the fears. But regardless, it's just really straightforward. I don't think it's overall bad. The last boss is not even that hard. You just got to watch the frozen binds and stuff like that, and then make sure it's like dispelled 16 yards away from the party and shit. As long as the the person who has it is away from everybody else. But besides that, for the next one, I think City of Echoes. Where's it at? City of Echoes, I think, is B tier. I think Maxwell has it right on that one. City of Echoes can be the coin flip one on here, because it could either go really good or really bad. You either pass the first boss or you don't pass the first boss, because a lot of people get stuck on the first boss because of the mechanics that the boss does. It's like shooting that one-shot thing at you where you have to put the webs on the outer rim to create a better circle within, or however you kite it to make sure that the tank is safe and the healers are good. and also the DPS can still DPS without being slowed down. And then also, like, it'll eat the ads, which you have to kill those ads, and then also deal with, you know, Xal'atath that comes down, so you have to really kill her because, you know, it's tyrannical this week, so the bosses are harder. And that's, like, you know, I think it's like Challenger's Peril as well, so it's a bunch of modifiers, which we'll talk about that later on. But besides that, City of Echoes, the second boss, not too bad. It's just the trash along the way, which you have to really CC certain ads to make sure that they are locked down, so you don't struggle with it. But the third boss, just paying attention to the poison and really rooting yourself. There's really nothing hard about that third boss, in my opinion, at all. It can get a little chaotic, but I don't think that's that bad whatsoever. I think City of Echoes is good. Right comp, right group, you are chilling. Wrong comp, wrong group, you are dead. It's as simple as that. Grim Batol, I think, is D tier. And it's kind of funny because, you know, my friend Eben, he always talks about Grim Batol, you know, Classic Plus and stuff like that. But in retail, I'm sorry, buddy, Grim Batol for Mythic Key Pushing is dog shit. It is way too long. There is so many ads. You could die to a lot of the ads. And then also, the boss after boss 1, the one that is walking, like, along the stairs, if that's not kited correctly by the tank, you can easily wipe. The third boss, you have to watch out for the elementals, and then it's the fourth boss with the ads going to that boss that can, like, nuke everyone along the path, and then also completing the fourth boss by doing the soak mechanics, clearing the ads, and then making sure you pop all your defenses and cooldowns. It is a miserable place, in my opinion. I hate Grim Batol, and I just do not like it whatsoever for Mythic Key Pushing. And yeah, that's really about it, because especially on Tyrannical, that last boss is chunky, which we'll talk about more shit on modifications and modifiers towards the end of the video, because I have my problem with certain things in the War Within for this season so far. Mr. Tier and Scythe, I'll put A tier. I think if you have, like, the weak aura, like we were saying with the guessing game, if you have things just understood, even just visually, if you're just looking at the screen and seeing the differences of the symbols, it's a very easy dungeon. Actually, not that bad. So I would put this high A tier for sure, behind Dawnbreaker. I think it's good, and it's not bad. It's definitely better than Grim Batol, 100%. I actually think it's better than City of Echoes, because the only reason I think it's better than City of Echoes is because the amount of trash in Tir na Scythe is not that bad in comparison of City of Echoes, where you have to go through the trash all the way to the right side just to come back to the first boss, then go through the long hallway of trash just to get to the second boss, and then the third pack of trash in City of Echoes has a lot of health, and the flying bugs above you as well, with the big general spider too. Those ads are annoying in comparison to Tir na Scythe. A lot of the Tir na Scythe ones I think you just nuke down, especially the big bugs towards the end. You can do a big pull on that and just hard CC and really AoE cleave them down. So I don't think it's that bad. So I'll leave it at A tier. And the last boss in Tir na Scythe is a joke, in my opinion. Siege of Borealis. If I could put it in a dog shit, I would. I think Siege of Borealis is horrible. I don't think it's not... it's not that it's not hard or not easy to clear. That's the word I'm trying to say. It's not that it's not easy to clear. You could definitely clear Siege of Borealis, 100%. Like, you could plus 10 it or whatever. But the problem with Siege of Borealis is that it's just lengthy. The entire place. Like, there's so much trash. There's so much, like, you know, mistakes and misclick you can make. The first boss is really the only hard boss with the bomb mechanic that really, you know, fixates on certain people. That's the only boss that's really hard. Every other boss is a joke. But besides that, it's the trash that can kill you. The ones with the guns, and you have the fears, and there's, like, little bursts of damage that can just, like, really take a 70% of your health or whatever, and you're almost dead. There's some shit in here that can really, you know, cause annoyances. And the bosses are all jokes besides the first boss. Especially that last boss. The Kraken's stupid. That whole tentacle fight's dumb. But besides that, I think Siege of Borealis is horrible. Just because of the layering of the map. I do not like the pacing of the map. Regardless if it's easy for you guys to do it, I think the pacing of the map is not good. The way it's laid out is horrible. Thematically, though, it looks cool. Yeah, like, thematically, Siege looks cool, but that's about it. Stonevault. Horrible. I think Stonevault might be one of the hardest ones, besides Grim Batol. I might put this first. In no order. We'll just leave it. I guess we'll put an order, whatever. But Stonevault, it is ridiculous. Especially on Tyrannical. Those bosses are like sponges. It is insane. And the amount of damage that the ads can do, the amount of CC you have to do. Also, that's before even getting the boss, you know, 1. Where that boss, like, you know, the laser beam part's not that hard, but boss 2, where it's the 2 bosses where you have to really kick, and watch the vents and watch the fire and the lava, and you know, you really got to kill them at the same time. And then there's the boss that drops the really good trinket, the Scamaric Shard, that you have to follow that soak mechanic correctly and really blow up the crystals in the correct point of order. And then they drop the Orb G Soak to do more damage to his fortified shield. And just the amount of trash in there as well. It's a bit of a nightmare. I'm not going to lie. It is pretty ass. I had a mistake with one dungeon last night where my Divine Storm went through a wall and pulled ads at the other side of the room. Don't ask me how that happened. I don't know. Whatever. But regardless of that, though, even the last boss can be kind of ass. And the ads before that ass boss, I'm stuttering my words already. The ads before that ass boss is basically just putting earth totems down, and you have to like hard CC them, you have to kick, and it's just a nightmare of a place. So we're gonna call it Stone Vault the ads the ads before that ass boss, we'll say. However, that's what we're calling it. Not even the last boss. He is an ass boss. I'm just gonna say that. City of Threads, though, as we move on, I think is D tier as well. I think City of Threads is absolutely horrible. What makes City of Threads so bad is just the amount of like running around you have to do, especially during the RP, which is a time waster, just inherently built into the dungeon to waste your time. And then also you have to kill the dual spider ladies, and then you have to eventually make your way to the boss that is like the big soak mechanic boss that like takes a plunder of your health and then leaves the pools everywhere. And he's not that bad as long as everybody's popping their defenses when he starts doing his like nuke part where he's like draining everyone's health. So you really just gotta overheal, but it's really the last boss, which the ads in that room smack like a mofo even before you get access to the last boss. And once you get to the last boss, you gotta watch out for all her mechanics with the orbs and the stomp that she does when she transforms into the big spider and does the stomp. And you really gotta follow your tank for the most part a lot in that fight. It's just really a nightmare of a place, in my personal opinion. I don't like City of Threads whatsoever. I would say I could put Siege of Borealis in C tier, just to change my mind, because it is easier than these three. I do think. I think Siege of Borealis is easier than these three because the first boss is only hard. Everything else is easy. But the pathing sucks. So I'll leave it in C tier. I'll leave it in C tier for sure. But Stone Vault and Grim Batol and City of Threads, easily, in my opinion, the worst dungeons in the game for this season of Mythic pushing. And I'll just leave it at that. That's just my personal opinion, but go in with what you guys think in the comments below. Would you change any of these? Would you put, Stone Vault S tier? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. So as far as the DPS rankings and the healer rankings and the tank rankings as well, because Wowhead shows a lot of the tank rankings, healer rankings and DPS rankings on their website in the order they believe that is the best currently in the game for the War Within. And I honestly think that at the moment, they are right for the most part, because there are people that I'm seeing bringing Augmentation Evokers, Frost Death Knights, and Arcane Mages absolutely blasting in their runs. Especially Frost Death Knights and Augmentation Invokers. If this is an order of anything like 1, 2, 3, these two classes are absolutely insane right now. They are pumping beyond measure. Enhancement Shaman, Elemental, and Assassination Rogue definitely doing really good, do not get me wrong. But these two classes right now, and Arcane Mage, are going absolutely crazy. So I genuinely think that no matter what, it's always right, if you're making a keystone, to select your comp. Make sure your comp is correct, you're going with the right specs, and you are pushing those keystones extremely seriously with the thought of clearing in your mind if you're trying to push. The one thing I don't like about it, and I feel bad for, is that the classes that do enjoy playing their classes or their specs, like in the B and C tiers, or even if it was D, that they don't get that opportunity to really push unless they're really good players at that spec. But it's hard being a really good player at that spec if your spec is just underwhelmingly performing right now. And that's not really your fault. That's really the fault on Blizzard's end, right? To not modifying that correctly. But I generally think you just have to select your groups perfectly, guys, if you're going to be pushing your keystones. And don't be like me right now, where, I'm giving a benefit of doubt to anybody, and my keys are just getting bricked. I've been hard stuck +7 for the past week and change, because I just been going with the wrong groups. Just truth be told, and I am not getting anywhere where I want to be. I want to get a 636 weapon, can't even get that right now. It's been an absolute nightmare. So if anybody wants to carry Teloret in retail down below, much love to you. Shout out to the boy. Would love some carrying through some +7s to get to a +8, +9 eventually. That would be great. However, I digress on that. Now, to talk about a little bit of what I wanted to discuss with you guys is my opinion currently on my issues with the War Within on Season 1. Whew, I'm not going to lie to you. This is about to be an exhausting topic. This is about to be a rough one. But I have to say it. Number one, I do not like the fact that people come into a dungeon, and this is a player issue. I don't think this is a Blizzard issue, but Blizzard can do something to fix this style of people doing this mechanic, and maybe some, not compensation, but punishing, if anything. I don't like when players join the Keystone, go all the way through it, and if they're on the last boss or whatever, they die one time and quit. Have any of you guys had that happen to you? Where a person goes all the way through your Keystone and quits at the last boss, or just leaves. I do not like that whatsoever. I think that is horrible. I think, and if they leave or quit, like just purposefully leave, or if Blizzard checks the text chat and monitors stuff, you can see that these players are being extremely toxic and they just leave. And I've had that happen several times in my runs, where a player, a healer, or a tank just quits. Now, maybe they weren't good. Maybe they weren't a good player, but they could still keep pushing at least to see if we get a chance at loot. None of that happens. They just quit, and then it bricks everybody's time. You got to think about how time-consuming it is. You have to spend 20 to 30 minutes setting up the group, 30 minutes inside the dungeon to make sure the run works, right? And then more time to set up another group to push another key. So you're really wasting an hour and change on one place, more than anything, that you just did. In reality, you really are wasting a lot of time. And I think it's really annoying that these players get to just quit and leave with no punishments or repercussions. In Valorant, they don't let that shit fly. In Valorant, you get your ass packed up if you leave. You get a fucking a ban, or you get reported, and you will get banned. I had my friend banned for 7 days because he got salty in a ranked game and left. I think we were pushing like Ascendant at that point. And he banned, and he got banned for 7 days. Didn't play. And he was pissed. But that shit happens, dude. So I genuinely think there needs to be a system in place, like a warning. Hey, you left this Keystone dungeon. What was your reason? Put a reason why. If you leave another Keystone dungeon again, we'll give you a warning. But if you leave another time, a third time, you will face a day ban. You will face a 2-day ban, a 3-day ban. I think a ban cycle or something to stop these players from leaving and forcing them to clear it so we can at least get some loot at the end is something we need to start implementing. Like, I hate that shit. So, players, you need to do a better job. Like, I get it. You don't want to be with a group because maybe they're fucking up. Maybe it's toxic. Maybe something's going on. But everybody empty their mind, reset the brain, and let's clear this stuff. Let's be grown-ups and let's just clear this stuff. We're in it together. Let's clear the dungeon and at least push it to the end and then get out of there. That's the mature way to handle it. Some people are not as mature and they're too immature about it. That's just on them. So, that's me being straight up. Number 2. I don't like the fact that even at the end of the dungeon, if you clear it, you open this grand chest that looks like it's holding a lot of gold in there or some type of treasure, and then you get 50 gold. 50 gold or 55 gold? Blizzard, that's not even covering a repair cost. What are you doing? That's not it. I'm sorry. I get you want people to continuously do your dungeons and you don't want people to get the best loot off the rip. You want it to be a grind, something that they work hard to. I get that. But not everything needs to feel like we're going after Thunder Fury, an original classic, or going after Hand of Ragnaros, an original classic. It doesn't need to feel like we're going after every item as a special grand item. Let there be some type of modifier, kind of like the Vault that they have in a way, where if you did like 100 or 200 Mythic Keystone dungeons in a week, or whatever the number is, a fair number, that you would hit a modifier at a chance of loot that you get to select from only one piece of any of the dungeons that you did that can have a role property or something to maybe get a chance of getting this loot at champion or heroic status. Because right now, at the current moment, everything is gatekeeped at Great Vaults or +7 pushing in Keystones or doing heroic to mythic rating. If you're not doing any of those, you're gatekeeped. You're not going to get to the highest level of gear. You will be locked around the 614, 615 cap and not be able to excel and push. That will be your cap. And that is unfortunate for a lot of players that know that they're decent players. I know I feel like I'm an above average player. I don't deserve to be in only +4, +5s. I deserve to be in plus, 8s and 9s. My highest I did so far was +7. I have a couple +7s, but I don't deserve to be in the low brackets. I know I'm a better player. I know I'm a good player. But at the same time, I can't be a better player if you're not rewarding our groups with good loot at the end of these dungeons and you're giving us 55 gold. That's a slap in the face. That is absolutely insane. And I just think it's absolute, bad design on Blizzard's end, as in terms of like the philosophy behind reward mechanics within these dungeons. It's a massive fucking chest. There's no shot there's only 55 gold in there. If anything, if you're going to say there's only 55 gold, there's got to be a couple thousand in there, baby. Come on now. That's a big chest, bro. You get what I'm saying? This is a big chest, and you're saying there's only 55 coins in there, bro? I'm visually looking at the chest. There's more gold in there than that. So come on, man. I'm just saying there needs to be a better system in place, in my personal opinion, when it comes to rewards. Number 3. I think this is the final topic of the video. The modifications, the modifiers. I think for the casual base and the casual players, the modifiers are way too hard for them. There's no shot they're ever going to get hit +9, let alone +7, maybe even let alone +6 or 5. Those modifiers are way too insane. Tyrannical on Stonewall is absolutely crazy. It is nuts. And then next week when they add the ones to the ads, and the ads already in Stonewall are ridiculous, absolutely nuts. Just my personal opinion. I think it's insane, these modifications. And I don't know if it's necessarily good for the game. If we're going to keep going with this tempo, whether this might face nerfs or not, or maybe possible changes. I don't know. I'm obviously not the Mythic Plus expert, but I can say when something's enjoyable and something is fun and it's challenging, rather than it's just overly challenging and not fun. And I genuinely think these modifiers, for some of these bosses, they feel like just sponges. They don't feel like, okay, this is like epic monster or whatever I am fighting, or creature, whatever, or person, and I am genuinely overcoming a good task and avoiding mechanics. No, but their health is just overly topped with these modifications. There might be adjustments in the future, for sure, with retail. But I think these modifiers are a little bit busted, in my personal opinion. It's insane. And then also, we had an instance, last night with me and my boy Sky from the Comeback Kid, so shout out to him. And where we get to the last boss in Stonevault, we do the whole dungeon correctly, and then one wipe causes just everything to just go to hell. One wipe just causes everything to go to hell. And it just happens, You just slip up, and then you get packed up. We're all putting the things in the portals correctly, and, I know it's a little bit of a side, rant, but it's like, it just blows my mind where it's like, man, this tyrannical difficulty is no joke. This shit is genuinely hard because the health is so buffed up. Things feel so overtuned, in my personal opinion, right? Now, people might say, oh, it's not overtuned. You just need the top meta classes and the top specs to go with. You're probably absolutely right. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I come from Classic where, we run with any class and, you could push anything and it's fun, and it's not super challenging. Nothing's really challenging in Classic. You just have a good time. So I was expecting, obviously, hopefully, the same kind of thing in retail, which, God, I was wrong on that, so I'll admit when I'm wrong, for sure. But, man, it is exhausting, is what I'm saying, these modifications. And maybe Blizzard will take a look at them in the future. If not, I'm just going to have to keep trying to find the meta classes to roll with and hopefully get pushed and carried into these +8s and +9s. We'll see what happens. I know I carry my own, don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm an above-average player for sure, but I'm not no elite player. I'm not at that level yet. I would love to be, but I can't right now. Currently, I'm locked at 615 rating in retail at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Overall, I know I'm ranting too much. That's basically it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's more of a personal style video where we're just discussing things and talking about stuff, and that's really all I got to say. So, much love to you, amigos. Keep on keeping on. All that good stuff. Lock it in, settle down, and shine on. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Anybody got $5
$5, we'll need 58 or 59 more cents for a biggie bag. That will get you a double stack with cheese, some nuggets, spicy by the way, or saucy honey barbecue, really good, fries, and a drink, and also me rocking you in your face. Get out of here.